basically the reason why I do what I do is because I watched Almost Famous when I was a kid. And I was like, I want to be a music journalist. That just looks like the best thing ever. So Cameron Crowe has always been a bit of a hero of mine. And I didn't realize your involvement in Almost Famous until recently, which is insane. I didn't even realize that you were the tour manager, the Humble Pie tour manager, which is, of course, makes total sense. I like what he did with that. So tell me about Almost Famous and how that came about for you.
Well, Cameron and I have known each other since he was 16. He was the first person to review Frampton Comes Alive before it came out.
Oh, right.
So the review in Rolling Stone was done by him, and we got him because we'd heard he was the new whiz kid. You know, we didn't know he was 16, but neither did he at the time. He thought he was 18, but his mother lied to him about his age. So I kept moving him up to college, and he was like 5 when he was in high school. So, but anyway, and we stayed friends. He would come on the road, and I did multiple interviews with him, and we went on vacation together to Mexico and in the 70s. And so, yeah, we've been really good friends. And then he just calls me up, as he would from time to time, or I would call him, and he said, "Look, I'm doing this movie, a rock and roll movie." And I said, "No, you're not." I said. He said, "Why'd you say that?" I said, "Because we've always said, don't you remember, that rock movies suck? You know, there's never been a good one." He said, "Well, that's why I want you to come and help me." So basically, he wanted to pick my brain. You know, Stillwater opened for Black Sabbath. Well, we opened, I think Humble Pie opened for or I opened as a solo artist, opened for Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
So I knew what the stage looked like. I knew what mics. I knew how, So he said, "I want you to be my authenticity advisor." So I said, "You got it." I said, "I love detail." So, but he said, "The main thing, though, that's one thing I want you to do. But the main thing I want you to do is teach Billy Crudup guitar." And he asked me to write a couple of songs, extra songs for the movie, which I did. And so it was my solos on there. I had to teach him my solos, and I had to teach the other 4 tracks, which was Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, with Nancy Wilson's band, actually Stillwater. That's who plays the actual music. And so I had to make sure that Billy looked the part. And I remember he hadn't really played more than 2 weeks of guitar when I met him. And so he was Billy Crudup is an actor's actor. If he played a long distance runner in a movie, he became a long distance runner. If he played a sculptor, he learned how to sculpt. He wanted to learn to play guitar as good as he could. So, which he did. And I couldn't be there all the time during rehearsals because I was doing gigs and stuff. So we'd film my fingers, playing those solos that he had to learn.
Yeah.
And then, which he did phenomenally well and very quickly. And then Cameron said to me one day, "We're going to be doing the big live shoot, next week." He said, what would Billy do to make you, the guitar player, go, "This guy's for real"? And I said, "Okay, well, there's one thing that all great guitarists do, is they're playing the correct notes, but their head goes back and they close their eyes like that. And they're not looking at what they're playing at all, And so we told Billy this. And then in the middle of the shoot, And I was actually asked by the director of cinematography to call the cameras for this live shoot. We had 3 Panavision cameras, and I was on there. He put the headphones on me with the mic, and I had to call the cameras for them, with a lot of other people on the headphone as well, talking to all of them. But anyway, we get halfway through this solo he's doing Stillwater, and he goes... And Cameron and I looked at each other. We must have jumped 6 foot in the air and high-fived. You know, It was like, we got it. We got it. He did it. I can't say enough great things about Billy Crudup. He's just a phenomenal actor. And he's still playing guitar now. So I'm thrilled to hear that.
Is he really? Oh, wow. I love that. So I can't believe that he was playing for such a short time and managed to do it. Because I guess you're not filming close, are you? But like, could he actually play anything? Because could he play the chords and
a little bit? But he managed to get the other thing that he had to do at the same time as put his head back and close his eyes. He had to have his fingers in the right position. Because I said, I don't want any of this business. You know, where you go. You know, and it's nothing to do with the notes, you know. If it's, I want to see him play that, you know. Yeah. I want to see the, you know. You know, and he would have to play, not necessarily play all that, but he would have to make sure his fingers were in the right position, you know.
And get the picking right as well, in a way. Picking, that is not just strumming, is it?
No. So every time he wasn't shooting, he would be in his trailer. Either I would be there with him most of the time, and then if I had to go away for the weekend and do a gig somewhere, he'd be looking at me, my video that he'd taken in a mirror, so it was round the right way.
So what did you okay, so as a beginner as well, like what advice would you give to beginners? Like what advice did you give to Billy other than the head going back? You must have given him some practice things to do. And
Yes. But basically the practice that we did was learning those songs. So I teach him the chords, and then of course, you know, teach him every riff that there was in the song and show him where it was and what it would look like and what fingers to use. And this is someone who, like I said, who'd only had 2 weeks basic training on a guitar, you know, and so he did all the work. I just was there to help him with any information and tricks I could show him, you know.
Are you a good teacher? Because I find that the best are the worst at teaching.
No, my father was the best teacher in the world, and I am the worst. My daughter, who lives here now, when she said, I have this horrible memory of when you tried to teach me piano, Dad. I said, I had no patience, you know. But now
do it like this. And it's like, what is that? Yeah.
But now, cut to today, I'll spend hours on the piano or with a ukulele with my granddaughter. So, you know, I'm a good teacher for her. Yeah. So, you know, it's as I say, we get older and we learn what's important and what's bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Life, people, family, love, you know, caring, you know, all that stuff. It's so important, especially today. Yes.
I totally agree with you. And I think we all appreciate that after like everything we've been through. It definitely made you look at life a little bit different. And I guess especially for you with everything you've been through recently. But so
it makes me feel so thankful for what I've been allowed to do. I mean, if I do like a flip, you know, flip through my career with pictures, you know, there it is. really? I've been so lucky. I've had some hard times,
Yeah.
when everything crashed and burned, but I think I'm stronger now. We Framptons don't give up.
Good. Well, I'm pleased to hear it because it means we get more music. But
That's right.
your career is crazy, though, the stuff that you've done and from such a young age. And I was thinking that, and I was thinking to myself, your parents must have been bloody cool to be, you think about the time when you were coming up and you were doing that. Most parents would be like, no, you've got to be an accountant or you've got to get a proper job, cut your hair. You can't play the guitar. But they obviously encouraged it. And how old were you when you were like going out with Bill Wyman? I mean,
I was 14.
Yeah. Crazy.
I was on Ready, Steady, Go. With the Preachers, who Bill had produced and given us the song. And I was on Ready, Steady, Go when I was 14, playing live. No miming.
I mean, that's one way to get good at it, isn't it? I guess to have that pressure. Maybe when you're 14, you're less conscious about it and you're just enjoying it a little bit more. It's not like a big thing,
yes.
Maybe. I don't know, but
no, it's like you definitely go for it when you've got the angst when you're in your teens, and the angst drives you to learn new things and want to be, better. I mean, my motto is, I want to be better today than I was yesterday, and I mean that in playing. In life, in general, I've learned so much about my music, my playing, but I've learned so much about life and experienced so much. And again, keep going back. It all goes into the pot and makes you whatever you are right at this, whatever I am right now.
Yeah, and you just need to embrace it. And just kind of go, yes. This is who I am, and I'm happy with that. No, that's great.
And my kids always say, Dad, because I'll get little tiny niggly things really annoy me, because I guess I'm a little OCD. And they say, but Dad, the big things, they never bother you. Like, your muscle thing. And I said, well, the niggly things I can correct. Yeah. The big things I got to accept. That's the way it is, and I have to be thankful for what has brought me to this place. I've had a wonderful, and it's continuing. It's still wonderful, my career. So,
yeah, you must be good.
Well, I don't know. I should be better.
No, do you know the funniest story I read about you was when you met Peter Green.
Oh.
Oh my God, that story was so funny. I mean, were you a fan of his? And then
I'd seen him play with before Fleetwood Mac, his Fleetwood Mac. I had seen him play with Blues Breakers.
Yeah.
John Mayall's Blues Breakers.
Yeah.
I saw Eric, I saw Mick Taylor, and I saw him. All three of them in different, and they're different. It's amazing, and they all went to the same school, and who were we talking about then? Sorry, I've gone off now.
Peter Green.
Oh yeah, sorry. You'll have to edit there. So, I was a huge fan of his. One of the most tasty guitar players ever. He wasn't a shredder, but he just had great choice of notes, and his sound was wonderful too. And so I had a girlfriend in New York, or I had met a girl, and she said, well, we'd been out on a couple of dates or whatever. She said, well, you want to come over to my apartment? I've got, I know Peter Green and he's going to drop by. I said, you're kidding me. I said, oh my God, yeah, I'd love to come. And that's when I had the Phoenix with me. and my black Les Paul. And I was just carrying it around because I didn't want to leave it anywhere. So I took it to her place. He walks in and he's got his, what I guess now is his 1959 burst Les Paul.
Oh God.
And we show me yours will you, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So we both got our guitars out and we didn't have an amplifier. So she had a chest of drawers. And if you lean the guitar, on the wood like that and it's got, it's obviously it's hollow inside. So if you play the guitar, it makes it louder, it resonates. So we're both next to each other like this, jamming, playing a little bit. And I was smiling and I thought he was smiling. And then he just stops and he goes, "What sign are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm a Taurus." He said it. I knew it. He picked up his guitar and he just put it in his case. And he said, "I don't like Tauruses." That was it. That was the end of our conversation. So I did not at the time, and I don't think, I know this is a funny story, but we have to say that no one at that time realized that he had mental issues, and so he was not a well lad, and so I feel bad about, I say that in the book, it's a funny situation, but I am such a huge fan of his. I would never make fun of him, especially with his condition, but yeah. That happened. That is actually what happened. And you never know what's coming, do you?
I love it though. But that's funny that you were having this musical conversation and then it was like, nah. But when was that? Was that when he was in Fleetwood Mac or before that?
Then? It was right when I guess Fleetwood Mac with him and Jeremy and the other one and Mick and
before Stevie and
yes, it's the Peter Green version.
Peter Green's, as they call it now, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was in Humble Pie. And they were obviously touring America, and he was obviously playing in New York, and that's why we met up,
Did he know who you were?
I don't know. He had to have. He had to have known. He had to have known who I was.
Yeah, Humble Pie and everything. He must have, definitely. Well, they say never meet your heroes, don't they?
They do. And you know what? I have to say 99.7% I've had good experiences with. And I still had a great experience playing with him. And I was sad when he left, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Okay, cool. I think do you listen to music do you listen to music at home? Are you one, or do you like having it quiet when you're at home and switching off?
No, I do listen. I do like quiet, but I do like listening to music. And my Sonos system with that chooses all. You just say my taste, and it knows my taste, and it'll just play one. It'll be Miles Davis, then it'll be AC/DC, then it'll be Django Reinhardt, and then it'll be a Shadows number or something. It just goes from one thing to another, or Van Halen will come on, Eddie will come on. So my system, my iTunes or whatever it is, knows what I like, and it creates my own playlist without me choosing it.
Okay, well that makes it easier, doesn't it? And I love Sonos. That's what I have as well. But I find that having it all digital makes me forget what there is out there. Because when you've got the physical copy, you can just look at it and you can rummage through it all, and you can go, oh yeah, this one, and pull it out. Yes. But with digital, you forget that. So that's a great way of doing it. I never knew that you could do that. My take.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, and it said your your playlist. I said, well, let me try that one. And it was uncanny how it had, and there'll be some Motown in there, some R&B.
Yeah.
And everything that I like is it's amazing. AI, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I know. I was listening to, it was probably, I think it was a Humble Pie or probably some of your solo stuff earlier. And I was listening to it and I was thinking, I don't think this is Peter anymore. And then it'd gone into someone else, but someone that was obviously similar.
Right.
So it does that sometimes, which can throw you a little bit. But yeah, no, it's great. Cool. So I guess I'll see you in London when you get here then. At the Royal.
Oh, wonderful. Are you going to come to the show?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to go with Molly?
I haven't spoken to her about it actually, but okay. I'll message her and see, because I'm guessing she's going to come, isn't she?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. All right. Well, listen, thank you for coming on the show. It was so lovely to chat to you.
Same here.
And what are you up to for the rest of the day?
I have we have a day off from rehearsals, so I have business stuff to do. So I'll be doing a couple of conference calls we're filming the Albert Hall. So I'm talking PBS here are filming it for us. So, which is wonderful. So I've got to talk about the logistics of that and stuff like that. And also just production stuff for the tour.
Okay, brilliant.
Because it's 3 years since we did this, so it's interesting.
So you're going to have lots of pyro and
no,
I'm joking.
No, but
you're not that artist, darling.
Yes, we are going to have a projection screen, but here we had cameras and everything and screens either side and then a screen in the middle. But this is a little less because it obviously it's much more expensive to come over there with all our gear and everything. So it won't be quite like that, but it'll definitely have some good stuff on the screens there behind us. And the production, the lighting will be great.
Yeah, it will be. So how come? So PBS are filming it. Will it go on the? Will it air in the UK as well, or?
Well, the thing is that the beauty of it is that we co-own it, so it'll get shown on PBS here as a pledge week to make people, donate, and then after that, once it's been around all the PBS stations, then it'll get shown in other places. Yes,
I bet it'll end up on Sky Arts.
I hope so.
I bet it will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. And I'll see you in November.
Absolutely, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
You too.